Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, and we are broadcasting, of course, from our what has turned out to be our home on the garden level of the Holman House, where we have a makeshift studio here, but we've got staff all over the place. And we're going to run down to Detroit right now and spend a little time with Darlene King. She's the executive director of the Michigan Diversity Council in Detroit. Darlene, it's great to have you on, and particularly this month, of course, for all the obvious reasons.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Chris, for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Well, it's good to have you. And let's talk a little bit. It might be a good refresher for everybody. Tell us a little bit about, your council and what it's about and what it does.
Absolutely. So the Michigan Diversity Council is a branch of the National Diversity Council. We are about 18 years old. We span across 27 states in North America and 6 other countries globally. And we service about 650 corporate partners across the globe in the areas of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So we are a complete resource for organizations that are standing up their DE&I initiatives, whether they are nonprofit, for-profit, higher ed, K through 12. And so that is the work that we do. And so we support in various ways around diversity, equity, and inclusion. I have been in this space since the late 90s, so almost 20 years now. So that is who we are. And I run the Michigan chapter here for the entire state.
I'm skeptical because you look far too young to be in anything 20 years.
Bless you. Okay.
So Darlene, tell me, do you call on these corporations and companies to initiate this, or do they get a hold of you? How does that work?
It's a combination of both. Primarily, organizations are looking for resources in this space. Diversity, equity, and inclusion from a corporate and a community perspective is not that old relative to being introduced into organizations. I would say probably in the last 10 years, in the last 5 years, it has really revved up. So a lot of organizations, they Google us, they find us through word of mouth. We do an enormous amount of external educational programming around the work of DE&I. So if they attend an event or they hear us speak somewhere, then they reach out to us to learn exactly what we can offer and provide to support them in this work.
So as a business guy, I'm going to ask you, how are you funded?
We are a 501c3. And so because we are a 501c3, we are funded by 4 different entities. Our corporate partners, because partners actually pay to be aligned with us to receive the resources and services. We have a consulting, training, and development department where we do both internal and external training and development for organizations. We have ad hoc events that we do across the country. And then we have our certification program where we certify individuals to be diversity certified professionals to implement and execute this work. So that's how we're funded, and through grants from time to time.
Okay, good. So a pretty good diversity of sources. So if one goes dry, you don't take the big lump. I always worry about nonprofits in that regard.
Yes.
If you're totally government funded and there's an economic downturn, you got trouble.
Absolutely.
So tell me, you always at year end, kind of the Christmas spirit, but also the fact that it's getting close to taxes, you see a spike in 501c3s. This is Black History Month. Do you see ever a spike in your council doings that kind of, I guess, pull up the demand?
Here of late, because of 2020 and the reckoning on race in this country and around systemic and institutional racism, it has been an extreme spike around how do organizations support minorities in this country. Black History Month just happens to fall now, and like it does every year. So you have a lot of organizations that are really looking at how do we begin to end systemic and institutional racism and support minorities in this country. Of course, Black History Month is an amazing way to begin to start that process. So it has just been a spike overall across the country due to what has been occurring in the past year.
Darlene, do you see more more companies jumping into this space and needing your services?
Absolutely. We see more. We actually had a 35% increase in partnerships in business in 2020, while other companies were declining. And that is the reason why, because they need the help and the assistance, and we're here to help.
Well, I hate to say it, but it does not look like anytime in the future the need for you is going to go away.
No, not at all. And on one end, it's a great thing because it's a conversation around race and inclusion and equity that we've been needing to have for quite some time now. And so the fact that you have all industries interested in this is just an amazing time, and we're glad to help, and we're here to help.
Well, Darlene, thank you. And God bless you for the work you do. Darlene King, Executive Director of the Michigan Diversity Council, headquartered in Detroit. And when you and I both emerge from our garden levels, I'll see you in the spring.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being with us. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman. Stick around. There's a lot ahead.